So I'm Hadi. I've been at Revolut for the past 7 years. I own the gross profit line for our core products, and I'm responsible for some of our new bets, like our telco program. So soon enough, for people in Netherlands, we'll have local plans, so you can get Revolut Mobile very soon, and it will be better than everything on the market. So you should sign up soon.
Thanks, Hadi. My name's Danny Poole. I'm the VP of Banking at Cover Genius. We're the insurtech for embedded protection. We aim to make embedding protection for all of your customers as easy as accepting payments. I've been with the company about 7.5 years and lead all of our distribution efforts across banking around the world. And we also do it better than everyone else. So that's why we're sharing the stage.
Perfect. Hadi, if that makes you happy, I'm on Revolut Mobile UK plan. Perfect.
Very good. Very good.
Right. Okay. First question to Danny. Okay. So you've been speaking to all digital banks across the world. So what sort of conversations you are having in 2026 that you weren't having in the last 2 years or so?
It's firstly very nice to say that I've been speaking to all of the digital banks. If our CEOs in the room, I have been definitely speaking to all of them. The conversations, we've been having these for many years now. What's different in 2026 from maybe 2 years ago? 2 years ago, it was all about growth. Get to growth and then find break even. Today, it's still very much growth, but a caveat with sustainable growth. So banks are looking at interchange compression. A lot of premium models aren't converting at the rates a lot of models assumed, and people are finding that the unit economics needs a second shot in the arm. So invariably, the conversation turns to embedded products and insurance as a way to find that second engine.
Perfect. Thank you. Hadi, it's no secret I'm a fan of Revolut, first of all. But what I want to ask you is, right, from where you sit, Revolut is obviously a very good example in terms of a cross-border banking model. What is that you got it right and others did not get it right?
So actually, we learned a lot from Amazon. He works at Amazon. I don't know if you heard. Not sure why he's the moderator, but oh well, from Amazon. But no, we learned a lot from Amazon. So basically, that means that we're obsessed about the customer, right? So, and that's not something that banks typically do, or that we have seen that banks typically do. So we start from the user experience, and we're UX first, right? So what is the best experience that we can offer to users? We start from there. We don't really think about costs initially, but we are very financially disciplined. So that means that we try to understand exactly what are the user problems. And even if something doesn't exist, so a lot of the products that we offer don't really exist. So when we speak to partners or potential partners, they typically tell us, hey, this is impossible. And then we say, okay, fine, but how can we make it possible? Then after they call us idiots and stuff like that, after back and forth, we get to a place where we create some very unique and differentiated products. And I think that's why Revolut is quite successful. So UX and doing things quite differently, even if they don't exist.
Excellent. Shifting gear a bit, bancassurance, right? So banks have been selling insurance for the last few decades, or a good few decades now. So let me go one by one. What's wrong in the current way it's being done? Hadi?
Yeah, so I can tell you how we can make it better. But basically, again, like insurance doesn't have a very good reputation typically, right? So we try to offer a super simple product, right? And something that users can understand in a very straightforward way, right? So that was how we created the product initially. And we wanted transparency with the users, right? Because again, insurance is not perceived in the best way. In our case, insurance has quite a good NPS actually, because again, it's super simple, super straightforward. The UX, which I always go back to, is very straightforward in the app, if you have ever used it. If not, you should. And so we are just very transparent with the users. We provide updates throughout the journey, whether it's a claim or coverage or whatever, right? And that's it. Very straightforward.
And Danny, you look at it from a market-wide perspective. So what are your thoughts on that?
Yeah, I think what Hadi is saying is very much the rule rather than the exception, and I think there's an increasing difference between the top performers in this space and the medium of that curve. I have sound bites about why structurally that is challenging, but I think it's best explained by way of like anecdote. Like we're all banking customers here as well as working in the industry. I would put good money that a lot of people here have a premium card and they probably couldn't tell me what insurance coverages come with it, let alone having had one used. This really drives me up the wall because part of the point is conversion lever and creating utility for premium customers, and yet the customer doesn't even know. So that kind of sucks as a conversion lever, right? The second piece is that when insurance is offered as a standalone purchase, like if you want your home insurance or your contents insurance, like it's so detached as an afterthought. So I'm in my app. It's like, hey, Danny, you spent too much on Deliveroo last week. Your wife's been, ordering some things. Like, do you want to put that £8 aside for the Ubers you'll get tonight? Like, it's personalised to the nth degree. And then I'm like, hey, can I have some home insurance, please? Because it's up for renewal. And it's like, cool. What's your first name? And I'm like, it's Danny. I'm the guy that you're. And insurance is treated as that afterthought. And I think the reason is that the distribution. Technology, the underwriting capability, the tech stack that this stuff is operating on is more often than not, based on a time before the smartphone existed and not fit for purpose in this age. And I think overcoming those data complexities, the tech complexities, enables that customer-centric approach that Hadi is talking about, and it's what separates the top performers in that income table from the rest.
Perfect. I love the statement. It's a rule, not an exception. And the insurance product has to be designed within and not bolted on.
Yeah, absolutely. It needs to be intertwined. Like, think of your insurance and protection stables as if they were a core product. Like, what would you measure about them if they were? And then you start coming to the answer, yeah.
Perfect. I want to get some enlightenment on the buzzword in the market, Bancassurance 2.0. You seem to be doing a lot of significant inroads into it. With different kinds of customers. So can you enlighten us all, actually, if you can?
Yeah, sure. So, our take on Bancassurance 2.0. So, traditional bancassurance, and I've spoken about a couple of the structural challenges that sat underneath that, lend itself to an offering for customers that is generic, often underserviced, and certainly transactional. And so we've coined Bancassurance 2.0 to be kind of the antithesis of that. So trusted, seamless, highly visible, designed to be used, customer-centric. And underneath that, there's three parts. We offer them as a stack, not as an a la carte menu. The first is bundled insurance. Now, everyone here will be familiar. It's the type that comes with your credit card. It sits natively within premium offerings. The key difference is that we're able to run analytics from day one. We can see how customers interact with the product, what they use, where it's sustainable, where it's not. And we're able to make continuous tweaks that take weeks, not months, rather than revisiting a loss ratio 12 months from now and kind of sticking with it. So that's bundled. The second part of that is triggered protection. So customer takes action, customer is serviced, personalised, tailored, relevant protection offering at the time of need. So crucially, these two don't work in friction with each other. They're complementary. For example, you have your bank card, you have travel protection, you land in Geneva. It's like, hey, looks like you're going skiing. Do you want to add trip protection for that? Or Danny, you're away again on your own. You're probably on a business trip. Do you want to top up that cover points? And the third part of it is the protection hub. So it is a home within your banking app that enables customers to manage all sorts of their protection lives. So a place to detach from the carrier, meaning I don't have to switch providers every time, and the bank becomes the lifelong concierge for financial service products, as they should well do.
Great. That's the breathless journey, I must say. So Hadi, based on what he described now, how does it map to what you're doing in Revolut?
Yeah, so again, we want something that is very simple and straightforward for users, right? And contextual as well, right? What that means is we need to share the cover, right, or the insurance offering at the right point in time where it makes sense for the user. So if you're ordering a Deliveroo, as Danny was saying, it does make sense to sell home insurance, right? So yeah, we just need to make sure that we are using and leveraging the data that we have, being the bank of the user actually. Also, we have an advantage that allows us to be super contextual, right? And that's something unique to us and, I mean, other banks if they use the data correctly.
Thank you. Danny, over to you now. So for a bank like that, right, they're getting it right and making a good getting a good customer attention. Well, concepts are fine, but what about numbers? What sort of magnitude of cost we are talking about for this?
So for the banks that are doing it correctly, embedded protection we see showing up with meaningful net revenue in the first kind of 18 to 24 months. Large enough, meaningful enough that it would show up in the board pack. The different kind of types of execution play to different numbers. With the bundled protection, we see meaningful uptake in conversion to premium accounts and also reduction in churn. And for the standalone or additional product offerings, the key KPIs around that are uptick in attach rate and product count, which we see as super important. We know that if NPS is good, time to product 2 gets drastically increased. If time to product 2, that correlates highly with ongoing customer lifetime value and customer satisfaction.
Perfect. You mentioned something around the embedded protection, right? Can you double click on that? What's required under the hood? What's required under the hood for it? Embedded protection.
So there's an embedded protection, and then there's good embedded protection, right? I think that the classical model is what we've probably all got. 5, 10, 15 insurance products, possibly one of which is valuable and the rest is kind of theatre. It's inefficient for the banks, it's not valuable for customers, and it's an outcome of a stack that was built for kind of 1990s distribution. What good embedded protection looks like is a co-created set of products that the carriers put together with the banks at launch, and then that full funnel analytics to see what's working, what's converting, what's not. The goal for this stuff, and where I think we'll get to in the future, is like N=1 personalization. And that's what we should be striving for, because then there is genuine utility, then there is genuine conversion levers for the banks, and it's better outcomes for all. So I think that's the difference.
Okay. Hadi, from a Revolut perspective, what would be your perspective on the same topic?
On embedded insurance?
Yeah.
I mean, I will have to resort to the same answer I gave previously, which is delivering the right user experience, right, in a very simple and straightforward way. And ideally, actually something that we have learned, you don't want to give users options, so you don't want users to make decisions. You just want to give the relevant solution at the right time and at the right price. So what we always say is we want 10x better product, which means 10x better UX and 10x better price. Now, pragmatically, you cannot offer 10x better price, but you can offer a better price. So you have to work with your insurance partner to make sure that what you are offering is affordable at the right price point, and it's for us to make sure that it's contextual and the right UX and very straightforward for users to understand and ultimately convert.
Perfect. So slightly shifting gear now. So when it comes to what's next in this space, right? We want to understand what is next, particularly, right? Is it AI or is it something else, what we are not talking about today? So can we start with you, Hadi?
Yeah, sure. So, I mean, everyone says AI all the time. How it's used is what matters, right? So what that means for us in terms of insurance, you want to, again, leverage the data, but potentially what we could do, and we haven't reached that stage yet, is offer a different type of coverage based on your transaction history. So what are you spending money on, who you are, where you're going? We offer you a different product depending on your context, right? So today, we are not there yet, but ultimately, once we learn a little bit more, potentially that could be something that we could offer in the future. But again, it could be a little bit controversial because that means that I could get a different offering to Danny, right? Depending on our particular situations. But the bet is that the user would be happy because what I would be getting is designed for me, and what Danny would be getting is designed for him. While today, everyone gets the same offering, right?
So from your perspective, Danny, what do you think, what's next coming?
Yeah, I will not say AI because that's my stock filler when I don't know the answer to a question these days. I just say something about AI. I think where AI is interesting in this space is it's the context. How to use the word exactly? Context. The more data that I can get hold of and use to make a product personalized, to make it seamless, and to reduce the friction between the product existing and the customer owning it, the better. And that is the space that we're progressing towards. And then on the claim side, and this is super important too, often overlooked, but it's when the customer is staring down the barrel of the gun of their product, and it's where NPS is driven. We are seeing AI can reduce handoffs and drastically reduce processing times for claims and make for happy. Who wants to get paid quicker, right, everyone?
Right. This one is the question that it's in everybody's mind, including me, okay? Everybody in the room, actually, I would say.
He's going to ask for a free Revolut upgrade.
Yeah, free ultra plan. Anyway, okay, jokes apart, the question is right. I need from both of you, answer from both of you. So what's that one practical step that we could take next Monday from your perspective?
Upgrade to Revolut Ultra. Practical step, obviously it depends on what everyone is doing, right? So I cannot give blanket advice, not a life coach, but just work harder, right? And that's it, to be honest. People say that working hard is not that important. Bullshit. It's what matters the most. So yeah, that's my advice.
Okay, Danny? What's yours?
I'm just thinking about how I'm going to follow that.
Yeah, exactly.
Good. I would say from an embedded insurance perspective. So I imagine every bank in here has some form of incumbent like bancassurance program, right? If you don't, you should have. I would say look at that through the lens of your core banking products. Like ask yourselves, what would we measure if this was a core product? And are we doing that? And then look through the usage, because I guarantee a lot of it won't be as utilized as you would expect.
Perfect. I think, yeah, that's all from me. I don't have any further questions. Anybody for any questions? Oh, that Damer.
Speaking of AI, imagine if tomorrow it's not people but agents paying. I feel like a customer-centric bank, a retail bank that evolves fast like yours at Revolut would work really well. Would be a really good fit for agents to create micro accounts quickly, iterate quickly. But people would still want that agent to not screw up on their behalf, so they would need some kind of insurance as well. Have you guys thought of this kind of future?
Not yet. I think this is way too much into the future, right? The reality is we will take a very cautious approach because you don't want to screw up with people's money, right? And we need to be super responsible. So yes, we want to be pioneers. We want to be like the first into whatever the future looks like, but we want to do it very, very responsibly. And the honest answer is we haven't really started we have started thinking about it, but we don't have any solution that is shareable.
And I would echo that from your side. I think the key phrase in your question is like very quickly, right? And I think the regulators would take a very dim view if we started very quickly getting things wrong with customers. So I think there is a lot of benefit to be had, and it's something we test. But again, it will be a cautious and controlled rollout. We're not there yet.
The only issue is that people are already giving all their bank passwords to Claude, so we need to move fast.
Yeah, I mean, again, you're dealing with people's money, right? So you can provide advice. We already have something called Revolut Air, actually, which provides some guidance, and you can ask it any question. It's already live in the app. But the reality, again, beyond that, we need to be cautious. If another bank gives a different answer, I mean, it's up to them, right? But the reality is, again, you're dealing with people's money, and you need to take that super seriously.
Any more? All right. Thank you, gentlemen. That's wonderful. It's good to see both sides of the coin. Lovely. All the very best. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thanks all.